Yo, new day, new do. I am very properly pissed off right now, and that is because this website is fucking ass. It is dog shit. Maybe I'll take all this back in like a couple hours, but for right now, God, I hate Raspberry Pi. Specifically their website for buying shit. Maybe it's like a specific person I hate. Maybe, who knows. I am buying shit for my brother because that is the one I am buying Christmas presents for. I don't really know why, but our family is doing something special this year that we are, we're just buying presents for one person for like a bigger amount than usual, so we still get like a solid amount, but we recognize that, yeah, we are all broke and we could all use a little, now that we're actually holding Christmas just like by ourselves and are not socially obligated to give everybody everything they've ever wanted. We're giving each other a break because we all need that. Even my parents to some extent, they just bought a new fucking car. They are sponsoring the entire fucking visit, the entire... We're going on holiday for like a week to some fuck all nowhere Norway, and that's gonna be pretty poggers. Just going on a fucking skiing trip. I don't have any skiing gear with me. I don't know. My bosses, I guess, are giving us. We're supposed to like send them our wish lists, and there is a certain, I don't know. It's weird because I don't really know what to. I'm not gonna give him fucking access to my private wish list. So I'm not gonna fucking do that. I made one for him privately where I had to fucking rush this shit in order to figure out what I actually wanted because I'm not gonna miss out on this opportunity to just get free things from my boss, right? One of the wishes is just a weighted blanket, because weighted blankets, I've realized, are fucking awesome and goated, and I could probably need that, especially here in, like, the winter times. Maybe less now that I've actually fixed my radiator, and it's not, I just need it for comfort sleeping, not actual, keeping my fucking temperature up. Yeah, I fixed my radiator. That's pretty poggers. That's pretty epic. It was a really fucking easy fix. I gotta be honest. I just had to, nudge some things out. I got to get in there with my grippy hands, and there is what do you even call it? Like I don't know what to call it. A little stick poking out of where you can turn the dial of the actual radiator. You can like unscrew that, unloosen it, then just take it completely off, and then there's a little thing sticking out that you just press a couple times. It's a bit rough, but it likes it rough, So that's the entire thing. Once you get that pressed in and out a couple times, it just works again. I don't really know. A guy on the phone said that, yeah, this happens sometimes. The guy on the phone was also, he's from one of the guys that took over our apartment. Our apartment has just been bought out recently, and we don't actually know who or what or where to contact anyone in terms of like, yeah, the apartment is a bit of a shit creek right now. So, we have a couple things that needed to be fixed. One of the small things was this fucking radiator that wasn't working, both in my room and the kitchen. So we called back, or they called back, and just said, yeah, who are you? We're not responsible for you, even though they totally were. But our old guys, I don't know, I feel some sort of fucking beef going on between our old guys and our new guys, and I don't really know what. But our new guys are, I don't know, our old guys. Okay, so to start off with, our old guys, when we were told that ownership was moving to the new guys, we were supposed to like get an update of some sort, but we never really got that. And now the time constraint that they got, which was the 1st of November, and now that's over, so we don't really know who to call. Before then, we were just supposed to call the old guys, which I don't really know why we didn't do that. We are very good at procrastinating here in this apartment. But you know, the guy I was on the phone with, he just, holy shit, I hate Gorb. Oh my god, that fight took like 5 hours longer than it should. So the guy I was on the phone with, he refused to believe that we were actually, you know, under his jurisdiction. Apparently we weren't. He was just some random guy. He wasn't even the person we called in order to, what do we even call her for? I don't remember. Oh yeah, right, the fact that we got 2 different, had to pay up 2 different times. We called our landlord fella for that, some woman who also had beef with the old company. But it wasn't her. Oh god, that was a hilarious voice crack. Yes, it wasn't even her, and it wasn't even her that he mentioned. It was some other guy that I've never heard of before. That's apparently our landlord. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know who or what or anything. But I suppose they got that shit figured out. How did I get on this topic? I don't know. Anyway, the gift for my brother, that was, that's all going fucking down the drain as we speak, because I had a perfect setup. I just hit the threshold of you know, going on. Oh yeah, right. I can retrace my steps now. The second gift I wanted from my boss was some fucking skiing goggles, and that's essentially it. So that I can actually go on this fucking skiing trip without borrowing from somebody else. I'm pretty sure the guy that that I would borrow from is also on holiday. I haven't asked him, but I'm just assuming, right? I could, of course, just borrow him. I did that a couple of years ago when we were on a holiday together, pretty poggers, but I just borrowed some of his old because they were, I don't know, he just fucking didn't want them anymore. But I found some new ones that it's now on my wish list. On my boss's wish list, I should say. Because again, I don't know. I don't know if, you know, the collision between my family and my boss on my wish list is gonna fuck up something. I don't know. But again, we are only like one person for each person. We don't know who. That's kind of the bit. That's kind of the funny thing about it. But I don't know. I just decided it was just easier to control it all. And then my boss is a lazy ass fucking guy, so he would only have to do look at fucking 2 or 3 things. One of the other things I wish for is just a fucking gift card, because I contemplated asking for some fucking shoes, just some, you know, walking shoes for our Japan trip, because I don't have, you know, proper walking shoes for that. Hiking shoes? Yeah, I'm gonna go with hiking shoes. They are fucking expensive, apparently. So I'm just gonna ask for a gift card on that, and also shoes. I really want to feel out my shoes before buying them online. That's just a whole thing. I did not have only 3. I had 1 more life beneath my belt. Oh well. But yeah, skiing goggles. I had to do a bit of research, mainly between the colors of the skiing goggles, because I know that that's probably the main thing of any relevance. Mainly being that, you know, fucking bright colors are supposed to like dim down. I don't actually remember. But one sort of color is supposed to dim down the like overall light, so you can see, basically you get like better depth perception. And the other one is just in general, like, it's basically like sunglasses for areas of the world where the sun is just so fucking high and it is blinding you. You know, the ideal is of course like both, but there is some fucking science color thing there going on that makes that nearly impossible, I think. Again, I'm no expert, I just did a simple Google search and found some for a pretty decent price that I can wrangle out of my boss, so hopefully I'll get that. But, you know, before we go on holiday, it would kind of suck to get them after I get home, but that might be impossible, who really knows. But that all reminded me that I really need to fucking, like, the deadline was basically yesterday, aka he just moved it, because again, he's a lazy fucking guy. He moved it to today, just in the group chat. So, essentially, that just reminded me, yeah, I really need to get going on my gift adventure too. And I am responsible for my brother, who is, I thought only wanted some fucking books, which was pretty neat. I already bought him one for, like, you know, way early on, just before we agreed on doing the other thing, so I automatically have my brother as the, I was about to say benefactor, that sounds evil somehow, as the benefactor of my empire of gifts. So, goddammit, that was awful use of spell. So, yeah, I need to upgrade my my gifts for my brother, and here we end at basically the only other thing that my brother wants, which is Raspberry Pi shit, which I have just done a bit of Google searching again, and video doing, because you know, Raspberry Pi, I feel like I am the only family member he could have gotten that kinda understands. So if there is anything to understand, I want to understand it so I can get him an actual better gift. But I might end up disappointing him, because all of this stuff is very much just, I don't know, I see it as kind of just a Lego build, just like assemble a bunch of random shit. So he already knows exactly what he wants. He just can't afford it, which, I mean, yeah, I feel you, man. But all of this to say, one of the things here that I found is a heatsink for the Raspberry Pi, because again, the Raspberry Pi itself is, you know, is also something that I wanted to get him. He wants two, apparently, for some reason that I do not know. But he wants two, a wireless one and a quote-unquote normal one. I don't know what the difference is, but I know that the wireless one is wireless. Wow, surprise, surprise. But in general, the heatsink and the Raspberry Pi is what I'm gonna get him. Maybe some stuff too on the sidelines. I don't know. The weird thing is, the Raspberry Pi, he gave me he gave out on his wish list a little link, which the cheeky fella I am, I checked out this link in order to check out what the hell my brother wants. And on this list is also the specific one he sent is only for the Raspberry Pi itself, but it also wants me on the website to buy like a little starter kit. And I don't know if he wants that or not, because the entire kit itself is pretty fucking expensive. But again, the entirety of Raspberry Pi is just like assembling random bits and pieces of junk. I shouldn't call it junk, but it is. That sounds funny to call it, so that's what I'm gonna call it. Random piece of junk, just gathered in one place and assembled on the assembly line that is my brother's desk. So I don't know how many other pieces or what other pieces he has. The main one I'm contemplating right now is the SD card, which I just had a very deep conversation with ChatGPT in order to figure out what the hell, like, what the very specific information that I want, because I've watched like a couple videos at this point on like what the Raspberry Pi is, what it does, and that's where I've figured out all of this other information. But specifically, like, the SD card always seems to be like one specific one, or like has some specific thing to it. I now realize that's also, that's what I figured, but ChatGPT, the GOAT, essentially just said, yeah, this is exactly it. You basically have to have a micro SD card, which you insert into the thingamajig, the Raspberry Pi, and in order to use that, in order to basically use whatever kind of SD card you like, you essentially just have to have it, not be old as fuck, not old and crusty, and also have, more than 8 gigabytes, which is not that hard to get your hands on. And it also has to have a Raspberry Pi, some sort of OS system installed, like pre-installed. Not pre-installed, because I figured that, okay, there is all this like DIY stuff, like just tinkering and nerding with stuff, that there must be some way to just install this yourself. And yes, there is indeed. And that's just gonna be my solution, is that, no, I'm not gonna buy an SD card with it. The main reason I would buy it, because it's not that expensive, but when everything except for the expensive ones are out of stock, it begins to get expensive, you know what I mean? It's simple math. Expensive equals expensive, cheap equals cheap. Cheap equals not available, cheap equals available equals expensive. I don't know why I went through that. Anyway, god damn it, I fell on my knees in fear of the All-Mother herself. Oh my god. So, did I lose all my hearts here? I hope not. That would be embarrassing. So the things I'm gonna buy him are, the list goes as follows. The Raspberry Pi itself, of course, the Raspberry Pi Zero W wireless. I don't know where the wireless comes in, because I feel like I see a lot of wires going on here. But that's what it's called, and that's what he wants, so that's what he's gonna get. With that, I'm also gonna buy him some wires. I'm gonna buy him some wires for his wireless thingy, which I found pretty funny. Not full-on wires. I buy him 2 adapters. One for, I think it's just called micro HDMI to HDMI, and then micro USB to USB, which is basically just like upscaling stuff. it's pretty cheap, so even if he already has it, I don't know if like it's like something he has done for a while, or if it's, god damn it, fuck you, or if it's something that he's just starting on, and I could just buy this like a starter kit and he would be on his way. But then again, he wants the Raspberry Pis and the heatsink separately at least. So I'm gonna assume that he doesn't want the starter kit and that he just wants the Raspberry Pi. That's what I'm gonna assume. Again, I can't, it's a fucking gift for him. I can't just ask him. That would also reveal the very funny, very serious idea of us keeping who we are giving presents to secret. That would kind of up and ruin that entire moment. But hey, I mean, it's not supposed to be that big a moment, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm just gonna assume that he doesn't need like the SD card. Even if he needs an SD card, they're not that expensive. He can get that for himself. And if he wants a specific one, you go, Queen. Uh-oh. So he's just gonna get that for himself. That, you know, I'm only gonna get him what he actually wants. That's what I'm hoping is, you know, the correct way out of this. So yeah, the other things that he maybe wanted was just some, you know, some fucking figurinos of Pokemon of all things, which is pretty awesome. But I've already gotten him that. Both my sister and my brother, I've gotten that. I'm pretty sure also like last year or something. I don't actually know if I got my sister it or if she just wished for it. I don't know. I've gotten one of them something before of that sort, so I'm not gonna do that now. God. My bad. I am sick, by the way, still, if you haven't noticed at this point. That is impressive if you haven't. So, yeah, the main thing that pisses me off right now, just to circle back like 20 minutes ago or something, this heatsink that he wants me to buy separately. Again, all these things I'm just supposed to buy separately. I'm pretty sure that's the end, you know, that's the end all be all of it. That's not the proper saying. Oh well, you know what I mean. The heatsink itself is now out of stock. It wasn't out of stock at like half an hour ago, but it's out of stock now. So that's always fucking fun. I'm hoping what happened is that it saw me, because I'm not logged into this site, right? I don't have a user on this site, so it just saw that some anonymous guy has it in his basket. He wants to buy this. Let's just say that it's out of stock, right? But I'm desperately hoping that it doesn't. Like, there has to be some sort of timer limit for that, right? So as long as that's not like days upon days, maybe it's just, you know, it's computer stuff. It registers when my, you know, when my browser is on and off. Like, it just looks at my data, which, you know, it's, I don't know, I don't really care. But it could do that, and maybe I should just restart my computer, and then all is fixed, all is good, all is whoopsie daisies, all is fixed. But the worst case scenario right here is that it's not just a bit, it's not just a security for anonymous browsing. Somebody else has just purchased this exact thing. That is the worst fucking case. That would properly suck. Not that it's, you know, unfixable, but I'm probably just not, you know, I don't have confirmation of that until never, pretty much. I'm not gonna give up on that on the thought of it just being myself. for a long while, and meanwhile that long while is going on, I'm gonna lose patience and just buy another gift for him. And that meaning I have to pay more in delivery fees, which sucks because again I am poor. But that's a whole problem in and of itself that I maybe don't even have to deal with. I can hope. Because all the other Raspberry Pi things are also very expensive. Holy shit, okay, my bad, I just shut down. Are very expensive, you know, in and of themselves. God damn it. So I'm not gonna fucking get those for him, even though he probably very much wants them. Sucks to suck, too bad. Two birds, one fly. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, great. So I don't really know what to do if the case is that the heatsink is just out of stock. Because it says that it is out of stock, but is it really out of stock? That's my basic thing right now. Is that I just don't believe the website, and the website might be just lying to me. But who knows if it really is. But I don't really know what to do otherwise. I'm probably just gonna get him a gift card for a fucking book site that he wants. I don't know. I'm not a book guy, but that's apparently the book website. Both my sister and my brother are very much nerds in terms of reading and shit. And they are both referring to this website for literally anything. So, I mean, must be good, right? Must be goated, must be premium stuff. But I do not fucking know. But they're gonna get, if all else fails, they're just gonna get a gift card for that. And when I say they, I mean him, my brother, because again, we're doing this like Secret Santa stuff. I gotta come out with a confession. I don't actually know what Secret Santa entails specifically. I just know that you have a person and you are secretly doing something to them. I don't know specifically what it all entails. I just had to get that off my chest. I'm not gonna do any research on what that is unless somebody tells me. I'm not gonna do. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there is a lot of like, you know, there's a very deep rabbit hole here of things to go down in terms of Raspberry Pi. I've also heard my my fellow bros, some of the very nerdy bros from high school, saying, yeah, Raspberry Pi is the GOAT. And I don't really know what the fuck that means. That was just another word they were throwing out alongside the likes of the mysterious GitHub. What is GitHub? I do not know. I know that was, you know, a funny bit. It was just like a long string of funny words that they were throwing out. Raspberry Pi was one of them, and I never knew what it was. I just knew that it was some nerdy shit. But you know, now I actually get an excuse to do, like, at least a little bit of research into it. The research I have done is two fellas kind of just explaining to each other how it works. You know, just basically playing good cop, bad cop, not really. Stupid cop, clever cop, sure. Stupid engineer, clever engineer. Doing Raspberry Pi stuff, just like connecting it very simply. And hooking it up to basically just play a bunch of retro games, which might be the main use for it, at least one of the uses for it, but I think it's just, you know, the main thing to have going on is just have a, you know, having a mini computer in your pocket at all times. Not really in your pocket, but just like on the side that you can just fuck with. I don't know. I get the feeling that it is very customizable in a lot of ways, the Raspberry Pi, just like in general. but I don't know in which ways, really. Again, retro games, sure, but a lot of what I've seen can just already be, you know, for example, the retro games, you can just like emulate some games on the PC and nothing. Emulated old games do not take up that much space or that much power to do. But my thinking is maybe, just maybe, the emulator itself is Raspberry Pi, and Raspberry Pi is both like a system, an emulator system, and this, you know, hardware thingy that you just put together yourself. So it is essentially a very customizable, you know, you can just download a bunch of like ROM hacks to it. They also, these very YouTube friendly YouTubers were very specific on, oh, you can't actually emulate the system or emulate a bunch of games if you don't own the rights to them, depending on where you are, stuff like that. They were very PG with it all, which I found pretty funny. Also, their personas were very much, very obvious, in terms of the clever cop, stupid cop dynamic. They both knew exactly what was going on, but of course one of them had to play fucking stupid and ask the specific, exact questions in order to make the perfect video out of it. I don't know. I find it very funny, all those, there is a bunch of examples of that, but I just like that. I like the bit of that. I find it pretty funny. Yeah, but, you know, there is a lot of rabbit hole stuff to go down that I probably could go down. I don't know. The more I research it, the more I think, yeah, Raspberry Pi is actually pretty funny, pretty good, pretty awesome. But again, like, at the very ground level, I don't really know what Raspberry Pi is for. Uh-oh, I am dying. I am choosing wrong decision after wrong decision. That was also the wrong decision. Yep, okay, great. I don't really know what Raspberry Pi is even for. I know some of the stuff it's for, but I don't know if it's the main thing. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some more research if I am going to do more research. Who knows? Anyway, it is 12 p.m. now. Just hit just a solid middle of the day, and I need to get some grub in my stomach, in my tummy. So I'm gonna go do that, and yeah, over and out. See you later.